there has been a strong correlation between economic development and lower fertility rates. So it's understandable why people would think this. However, if you look at immigrants to the U.S. from Latin America, their economic welfare is improving once they adapt to this society and get a job and start earning much more than they were earning at home, and their fertility rate goes up. When Turkey had improved economic welfare, its fertility rate went up. At the other end of the spectrum, when the U.S. went into the Great Depression in the 1930s, its fertility rate reached an all-time low. It actually dropped down to replacement level in the 1930s. And this was before the invention of most modern contraceptives. Europe underwent a demographic transition in the 1800s and early 1900s. Russia today has very low fertility rates in an economic situation that could only be described as a depression. So if development is a contraceptive, it has a high failure rate. What we do know is the causation does work in reverse. That is to say, when fertility rates come down, which they have in many countries without economic development, then economic development begins. And here's why. When people are working at low-income jobs in a developing country and they have, say, 10 children, they're spending all of their income on food, housing, and clothing, the survival needs of their children. When at a national level or a family level, fertility rates drop to, say, 2 or 3 children, and they're earning the same amount of income, there's a little money left over. They're not spending it all just on survival. They can save that money. That builds capital. That allows businesses to expand. That leads to greater employment opportunity, and it drives up wages. They can invest the money in education. They can invest via the government in infrastructure. Those two types of investment lead to greater economic productivity. So it is that pattern that has been followed by every country that has been reclassified by the United Nations since World War II from developing status to developed status. They are Japan, South Korea, Hong Kong, Singapore, Taiwan, Bahamas, and Barbados. Each one of them first instituted a very effective voluntary family planning program. Fertility rates came down. When they got down to around 2.3 children or lower, the economy took off, and these countries ultimately made it into developed status. Many developing countries like China and other Asian economic tigers are going through the same process now. China has the fastest growing economy on the planet, and it is in part an outcome of their one-child policy that has led to what is now referred to by demographers as the demographic dividend. So it's very clear that you can reduce fertility rates through promotion of small family norms in countries that have undergone no economic development, and then that will lead to economic welfare of the people.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Calling, calling, calling.